Hundreds of years ago, long before we had fancy science labs or internet, people were totally confused and actually believed that trees were eating the dirt like it was chocolate cake, thinking that the soil mysteriously disappeared into their roots to make them grow big and strong. But then, a clever scientist named Jan van Helmont in the 1600s planted a tree in a pot and watered it for 5 years, only to find that the tree gained huge amounts of weight while the dirt weighed exactly the same, which proved to the world that plants are actually secret magicians that pulled their food out of thin air and light. Now, look at a hungry kid sitting on a park bench holding a giant juicy burger with melted cheese, opening his mouth wide to take a massive bite, and then look right next to him at the giant oak tree that is 10 times his size. You have definitely never seen a tree wait in line at a fast food restaurant, nor have you ever seen a flower eating a pepperoni pizza, and that is because plants are the most amazing chefs in the world who run a 24-hour restaurant inside their own bodies using a superpower recipe called photosynthesis. This magic trick requires 3 special ingredients that are all around us, starting with the water that acts as the soup base, which the plant sips up through its roots that act like thousands of tiny drinking straws buried deep underground, sucking moisture from the soil and shooting it up through the trunk like a high-speed elevator until it reaches the leaves. At the exact same time, the leaves are busy doing something invisible and spooky. They open up millions of tiny little mouths on their skin to swallow carbon dioxide, which is the used-up air that comes out of your nose every time you breathe out, and they mix this air with the water they just sipped. But the pot isn't oiling yet because they need fire to cook, and this is where the real thrill begins as the sun rises in the sky and shoots beams of golden light down to Earth, crashing into the leaves where a tiny green hero lives. This hero is a little green room inside the leaf called a chloroplast, which works like a microscopic kitchen or a wizard's cauldron that grabs the sunlight and uses its heat to mix the water and the air together in a wild, bubbling chemical reaction. Inside this tiny green kitchen, the sunlight smashes the water and air molecules together, cooking them until they transform into something completely different, turning into a sweet, delicious energy called sugar, which creates the sap that runs through the tree to make it grow taller and stronger. The most amazing part of this story is the leftovers, because when you cook, you usually have trash to throw away, but the plant's trash is actually an invisible cloud of fresh, pure oxygen that it releases back into the air, blowing it right into your face so you can take a deep breath, meaning that while the plant is busy cooking its sugar lunch using the sun, it is secretly keeping every human and animal on Earth alive by giving us the air we need to survive, making these silent green chefs our absolute best friends in the entire universe.